Yeah, it's recording.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Here we are again with another Frontity talk. I'm JuanMa. I'm in the developer relations team.
And I am Michael, also a member of the developer relations team.
Yeah, so we are going to do a short Frontity talk because we want just to talk about um, a thing that is very simple but very important for Frontity projects. It's about the styling. So let me introduce the topic a little bit, and then we will talk about a specific demo where you can see like a very common use case in Frontity projects. So I'm going to share my screen, and here I'm showing the styles documentation, the documentation page about the styles. And the first important thing is that Frontity uses CSS in JS to add styles to the React components. And this is because Frontity is very performance oriented, and all the tools provided by Frontity are um, oriented into generating the smallest bundle possible. Like the bundle has the smallest size as it is possible. And to do that, CSS in JS is like the best tool to do that, because Frontity also has SSR. That means that the HTML is generated from the server. So by using CSS in JS, we can attach the styles needed only for the pages that are served via SSR. So every time a page is loaded, only the styles required for that page will be generated and added to the bundle. So that makes the whole application to have a better performance. So because
Makes it leaner and more lightweight. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The bundle is smaller, so it loads faster and the user experience is faster. The SEO is better because the performance is better. So yeah, everything is so Frontity offers a lot of tools very oriented to the performance. So this is the recommended way. This is like if you are concerned about the performance of your project, this is what you should use in a Frontity project. But having said that, sometimes the performance is not as important as being able of use a specific CSS library. So to do that, there are solutions, with the drawback that the final bundle won't be as small as if you were using just CSS in JS. So how can you add global styles for your Frontity project? For example, the CSS require to use a specific CSS library. For example, Bootstrap. With Bootstrap, you load a whole CSS file with a bunch of classes declarations. And once that's loaded, you can use those classes in your React components to get a specific style. So CSS in JS would be something like this. You would define, you would create like React components that are a variation of a specific tag with some styles, and you would use that directly in your React project. But then you can also use the global component to load styles. So with this global component, you can load global styles for your page. These styles will be loaded for all the pages. So that's why the final bundle will be higher than with just using CSS in JS. So this solution is the right one when we want to load CSS styles from a library. So let's go to the demo and see how this works in a project. So this demo is a very simple Frontity project with just one page that shows how to load an external CSS file into a Frontity project. So if we go to so this is the Frontity project that is using a custom theme created just for the purpose of showing this. And this theme is very simple. It only has one JavaScript file. This no, this is the definition of the theme. This is actually the only file in the theme. This is in any other theme, it's like the entry point. From
The
here,
root component.
the root component, yes.
Yeah.
From here, you would load a lot of more components. But for the sake of simplifying this demo, here we have only just this file. So how are we loading? For example, in this case, we want to use the ant-d library. Ant-d is a library that offers a lot of React components. And for those React components, we also need to load CSS styles. So they got the proper styling. So how would we use a library like Anti? Well, for that, we first need to install the npm package. And to do that, we just add that package in the package.json, and once is installed and is in node modules, we are able to import the React components from this library. This is just like any other React package that we want to use in a Frontity project. But also from this module, we can load the CSS. And here is where we have the interesting part. We can import this global CSS where you have defined all the styles required for all the ant-d components. And once we have this is actually a text file. So to load this text file, we can use the global component. The global component is a component that we can import directly from the Frontity package. In the same way that we can import CSS, we can import connect, style, and head, and so on. So the global component, we import that component here, and we use that component here. And the global component has a prop called styles. And here is where we can load these styles that we have loaded here. And that's all. From here, these styles will be loaded in every page. So the styles can be used in any page of a Frontity project. This solution is also, for example, here, there is an example of global styles that are custom global styles. So for example, this is just an example. You want to use a specific font family by default, and you want to define some global definitions for all the links. So you can do that. You can, if there are not too many styles, this is like an accepted solution. So you can define here your global styles, and you can, here we have the styles from ant-d and the global styles that we have defined here.
I guess the global component is also a great way if you want to incorporate a CSS reset, like the Eric Meyer CSS reset,
Exactly.
something you want to apply to pretty much site-wide, you could put it in global styles. And a CSS reset is basically well, the browser will do some default stuff like put padding and margin around headings and stuff, and also around the document itself, which is why when you set the background color for your site, you see a bit of a white border around the whole site.
Mm-hmm.
So you can apply a CSS reset to your site or to a page that removes all those borders, all that padding, all that margin, which gives you kind of a blank canvas to make your subsequent CSS definitions a bit more predictable. I'm sure we've all had the experience when we're starting out with web development, applying some styles, and it doesn't behave how you
Yes.
expected.
That.
So a CSS reset is great for just making your subsequent CSS definitions more predictable, and the
Mm.
global component is a great way to apply your CSS reset to your Frontity site.
Yes, because every browser applies like its own default styles for pages. So they are there are little differences. Like the default padding applied in Chrome is not the same that the default padding applied in Firefox or in Safari and
That's
so
right.
on.
Yeah.
So yeah, the CSS reset is like as you said, like the a good solution to set the canvas in blank and exactly get your styles like having them more predictable because
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
have you have no surprises in terms of what is the final result with the addition of the specific details in each browser. So you
Yeah.
just
I think it is better these days. Browsers are more consistent than they used to be in the past.
hmm,
But a CSS reset is still a very useful thing.
yes.
Eric Meyer's is probably the most famous. We'll put a link in the description to the
Hmm.
Eric Meyer reset, but there are others.
Yeah. So yeah, the global component, yes, it's also a good solution to apply these reset styles.
Yeah, and if you're using a library like Foundation or Bulma or Bootstrap, they're going to do a reset anyway.
Mhm. Yeah, it will be included, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so let's have a look at this demo. Let's see, here we have a link to the code sandbox, and we can see how the component from the ant.d library is loaded successfully, and it can be used, and also that the styles have been properly applied to the ant.d component.
Mm. And maybe we can show what happens when you remove the styles.
Hmm. And there's another part of the code that is this one. This is like a fix for an issue that happens when you load external CSS into your Frontity project. This has to do with emotion. It's actually an issue with emotion. This is documented here in the, we have a troubleshooting guide, and this is an error that appears in the console of the browser when you do this. When you load external CSS, as it goes through emotion, here you have documented the why, and here you have two solutions that we provide to solve this issue. So here I'm applying this solution to remove this message, to avoid having this error.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the project, and here we can see how in a Frontity project, in a Frontity theme, we are using elements, we are using data from the state. So here we have the state passed via prop into the theme component, and we are making use of that state here. We are showing the description, we are showing a specific post, uh, just to show that regarding Frontity, everything works. Regarding the Frontity data, everything works. But also here we have a date picker component. And here we can see how we can select a day and everything. All this behavior is already defined. So we don't have to do anything else. We just need to load the date picker component and use it here. Use it here.
Mhm.
So
So what happens if we disable those global styles?
okay, now we've been able to do the change.
So I'm guessing that everything will still work normally. You just won't have the styling on the date picker, so it'll look
Yes.
like some sort of mess.
Yeah, let's see what happens because
Yeah.
yeah, the styles may provoke a mess. Yes. Besides the global styles, in this demo, you also have an example of how to use like the CSS in JS approach. So it's this. We can use the styled method that is imported here. And this is like a way to create a React component based on an H1, but it's like we are creating a custom H1 with some styles already attached. So every time we will use this component, this header main page, as we are using it here, this will have these styles.
Hmm.
And the same here. This main is a custom deep component with some styles already included. So whenever we use this, okay, here we can see how the styles are not being loaded properly.
Yeah.
But everything seems to
Yeah.
work more or
Yeah.
less. Well,
Yeah.
no, it's not working now.
Yeah. I mean, it clearly hasn't got any styling. I mean, it's
Yeah,
still got the layout, presumably
yes.
because of the markup. It's
Hmm.
done in a certain, structured in a certain way, but they're clearly not styled.
But yeah,
Yeah.
now we load the styles and it
Yeah.
works the same.
Hmm.
And And that's all what we
Yeah.
wanted to share with you in this Frontity talk.
Cool. All right. A nice short one this time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We will provide the links to the documentation pages and and yeah, feel free to ask in the community if you are having any problems using an external CSS library. But this should be the way to do it. I
Mm.
mean, this is a way it can be used to load an external CSS
Yeah.
library.
Yeah. That we recommend against loading like all of Bootstrap or all
Hmm.
of Tailwind or something.
Yeah, but yeah, let's repeat that the recommended way using CSS in JS because with that approach,
You'll get the
you
smallest bundle size.
exactly, and you
Yeah.
will have a better performant site. And at the end, this will improve your SEO, this will improve your user experience, and so on. So,
Precisely.
so
Yeah.
yeah, using CSS in JS is a good approach to add the styles into a React project.
Hmm.
And this is it, guys.
Cool. Let's wrap it up then.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see you in another Frontity talk.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us for this one, and
Yeah.
see you next time.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.